Right now, life has us keeping our distance, but there's never been a more important time to come together. Scouting looks a little different than what we're used to, sure, but across the country, Scouts are coming together to learn, grow, and serve even while apart, because that's what Scouting has always been about. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Our culture is one of perseverance and determination. Our foundation is that of always being prepared. When you think about it, we've been preparing for times like these for over 100 years. Because for the past century, we've been pioneers, adventurers, helpers, scouts. Nothing can stop us. We've got this. We are Scouts.
On behalf of the Southeast Louisiana Council Boy Scouts of America, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Pillars of Scouting Luncheon, honoring Jim Letten and Charles Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, in a normal world, I would be telling everyone to find their tables right now and be seated at this time. But for tonight's virtual event, I welcome you to the computer screen. According to Merriam-Webster, a pillar is someone who is an important member of a group or an ideal or principle. These men have been pillars of strength and support for the Scouts for many years. It is fitting that we present Pillars of Scouting awards to these worthy individuals who embody the highest aspirations, integrity, and character, such as these gentlemen represent, and share their example to our young people. We will open our program with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Scout Oath.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scout sign. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty, guide God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, and to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
It is my honor to introduce Dr. Paul Gregoire of the Baptist Theological Seminary right here in New Orleans and chaplain to the many National and World Scout Jamborees.
Please prepare yourself to pray in the manner in which you're accustomed to praying. Our Heavenly Father, our gracious Lord, King of the universe, may we be blessed today as we realize the blessings that we have received. And now as we have come into this time of this banquet, we just ask now in a special way that we remember the blessings that we've received. May we be generous in the blessings that we give to others and to those who need it. Let us now be in a position to have this blessing bestowed upon others as they have been bestowed upon us. I ask that you consider that the Scout is reverent, and that as we pray today, that the reverency that we extend to others would be extended to us. Bless our families, bless our scouting events, and bless each and every one of us. Amen.
I would like now to introduce my sister, Pat Denishow, who has been a part of the Pillars event since its inception. Every great event needs a driving force to make it successful. Pat considered it an honor to chair this event to recognize Jim and Charles. Although when we were planning this event, we were expecting to do so at a magnificent luncheon, as in previous years, with over 350 friends in attendance and community and business leaders filling the Audubon Tea Room to congratulate Charles and Jim.
Thank you, Jeff. I am truly honored to be chairing for the first time ever the virtual Pillars of Scouting event. And we are honoring two very esteemed gentlemen and dear friends, Jim Letten and Charles Nelson. Their work on behalf of Scouting of Southeast Louisiana and on behalf of our whole community has been tireless and exemplary. Congratulations, Jim and Charles, so well deserved. I would like to thank my wonderful committee and the indefatigable Tori Hayden, Director of Development, for all of your help in supporting this program. Greatly appreciate you. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all of our supporters, our sponsors, all of you who have contributed to this event. Your much needed dollars will do so much to go toward the programs and the services of Scouting in Southeast Louisiana, and will enable almost 6,000 children in 11 parishes to benefit from all that Scouting has to offer. So thank you so very much.
Our first honoree is Charles Nelson. Charles is a former council president of the Southeast Louisiana Council Boy Scouts of America and current chairman of Waldemar S. Nelson and Company Incorporated Engineers and Architects, a multidisciplined design consultancy serving industry, government, and commercial interests since 1945. Nelson is currently one of the largest privately owned engineering firms in the state of Louisiana, employing approximately 300 engineers, architects, designers, and support staff, both in New Orleans and in Houston, supporting projects on 5 continents. A native of New Orleans, Charles is a graduate of the Georgia Institute of Technology, where he received his bachelor's degree in civil engineering in 1970. In 1974, he received his Master of Science degree in coastal and oceanographic engineering from the University of Florida. He is past president of the World Trade Center. He's a member of the Engineering Advisory Council of UNO, the Rotary Club of New Orleans, and he serves on the board of Southeast Louisiana Council of the Boy Scouts of America. He is married to the former Dorothy Duval of Houma, Louisiana, and they have 2 sons.
Well, first I'd like to thank the Southeast Louisiana Council for this award. I'm very honored to share this recognition with Jim Letten, who I've gotten to know through the Scout program, as well as the prior recipients, people like Jimmy Fitzmaurice and Frank Stewart, Ken Pickering, Joe Ignatius with the Whitney, and Bill Metcalf, Boise Bollinger, and then Bill Oliver, who unfortunately received this award posthumously, as I recall. But those were all really strong leaders, and I think truly the pillars that support the Southeast Louisiana Council. I kind of consider myself a smaller member of that community. Maybe I'm a strut that helps to hold up the pillars who are actually doing the heavy lifting there. But in preparation for this, Tori Hayden asked me to give a background as to why Scouting has been important to me. And I've done that through a set of slides that I was able to pull together from different photo albums and catalogs and things, memorabilia. And it starts off really with this handbook. That handbook was published probably around 1918. The Scouting organization started in 1910, so it had existed prior to that. But this was my dad's Handbook for Boys, which was the roadmap for how to go through the Scout program as he did when he went all the way to become Eagle Scout. This is a front cover of that. You can see his name written in the top, W.S. Nelson, and it really followed the rest of his career as he went through the Scouting program. He was a member of Troop 22, which met at Lusher School, uptown New Orleans, and they formed themselves along a system of pine tree scouting, which was a camping technique, which I will get into in a moment. But it was interesting. I was told that at that time, say 1929, is when my dad joined Troop 22. It was about 3 years old at that time, and it had been formed because there was another uptown Troop 11, which the boys had tried to join, but it was full to capacity, and it was felt it was time to start another troop. So the leaders decided they were going to be twice as good as Troop 11, and that's how they chose the number Troop 22. The early leaders for that and the founders of Troop 22 are shown in this picture. The taller man on the left is Colonel V.J. Bedell, who was a veteran of the First World War and working in New Orleans at that time, 1920s, mid-20s and on, as an engineer, working for the Port of New Orleans and the Public Belt Railroad, some others assignments in that time. And that's when he started the Troop 22 along with these other committee members. And as I said, he's retired military, and you can see the two fellows kneeling left and right they're in military uniforms. So he, Colonel Bedell, no doubt called upon his military comrades, if you will, to help set up Troop 22. As I mentioned, it was set up on the pine tree system of camping. This is a picture out of the pine tree technique manual, if you will, and it shows a very orderly campsite with the tents in the background, and in the foreground where the kitchen, the mess equipment is being put together, all came on the carts, which are also shown in this picture. And those carts were really the key to the pine tree system of camping. This shows two of those carts with the camping gear on it being pulled by the 8 members of a standard patrol. This photograph was probably taken out near the lakefront in around, I would think, the 1940s from looking at it. This is another picture that I found in an album, and the reason I pulled it up is it shows my dad, who's second from the left, next to that fellow in white, and then 5th from the left is a young man who is my namesake, Charles Nelson, my father's younger brother. And so it shows they were both very active in Troop 22 in this time prior to the outbreak of the Second World War. This was an interesting photograph that was in the Times-Picayune, and it showed a group of about 50 scouts from the New Orleans area, and probably maybe a dozen or 2 dozen of those were from Troop 22. This was a picture on their departure for the World Jamboree of Scouting that was held in England in 1929. So it was a very interesting part for our community to have that many scouts going over, raise the money, et cetera, to spend that time going to the Jamboree in England. This shows another part of the scouting program regionally. This is at Camp Salmon over in Slidell, where weekend and summer activities were carried out for the regional scouting program. And this is back to Colonel Bedell. The reason I put it in here is that when the war was over, my dad returned from his occupation up in Shreveport, Louisiana, where he's working on Camp Claiborne, and Colonel Bedell, who was the scoutmaster for the Troop 22, and his son, this is John Bedell, who was a colleague of my father's. John was a year older than Waldemar, but the two scouts joined their scoutmaster in his engineering company and eventually evolved here in a few years later into Bedell and Nelson Engineers. Torrey had asked me to explain something about the origin and the importance of scouting to the engineering company. And he's heard me say this before, but my dad told me that as the engineering company grew and it came time to begin discussions, find a banker, lawyer, insurance broker to help put together a benefits plan for the company, well, he often turned to the community that he knew from his scouting days, and not only from organizing the company, but also in actually carrying out the assignments that they had at that time, which was a growth period after the end of the war and the return of all the veterans home. So that was a very fundamental and a strong part of the scouting experience that I became aware of as I joined the company. This goes to about 1958, I believe. It's me standing in my Cub Scout uniform in the backyard, and I was a member of the Cub Pack organized at St. Andrew's Church, Pack 48, that also was part of the regional neighborhood program. As I graduated further into the Boy Scout program, I did join Troop 22, and that's a picture of the 3rd Patrol, of which I was a leader for a while, and I think I'm the second from the right of those scouts standing again with this trek cart that was used for the pine tree method of camping. This shows a drill that we would do in, it was really a speed drill to see who could set up the camp quickest, and each of the scouts had their own individual responsibility, and we used to practice that as part of our routine. This is another picture of the use of those old trek carts. These are the ones with the wooden tires, wooden wheels, if you will, steel rims, and these scouts are on something that was very important to Troop 22, which was the summer hike. We called it the 50-mile hike, which was conducted over a 2-week period. And with those carts, we would move from maybe as many as 6 to 7 campsites over a 2-week period. And with all of the gear in those carts and the equipment and the food, your backpack, tents and everything, it was a very effective way to cover a lot of ground and keep it well organized. This goes forward to later in my career with the scouting program. Here I was reading the names of recipients of the awards for the Cub Scouts. That Cub in the foreground with his back to me is my eldest son, who joined the Pack 48 again at St. Andrews, and the other members of the, as they call it, the committee there with me. It shows a picture of the group of the Cubs over in Audubon Park during one of the graduation ceremonies. Another picture I thought was funny was this cart that we built along a little bit different lines than the old trek cart, because this was on pneumatic tires, so we could pull it over the road. We, again, had all of the gear packed efficiently in there, and we painted it blue and yellow. It's part of the Cub Scout program. This is a picture of me and my older son as he was involved in the Scouts at St. Dominic's Church in Lakeview. I think it was Troop 51. And this is him getting on their bus to go off to one of the camping experiences that they had in the, that would be 1990s time frame, before my son moved out of state to go to boarding school in New York. This is his younger brother and beginning his career in the Cub Scout program, again at Pack 48 at St. Andrew's Church. And this is me at what is called the bridging ceremony in Audubon Park. At the end of the Cub Scout program, the highest rank that a Cub could achieve is a Webelow, and that would be a point where they would graduate into the Boy Scout program. And this ceremony, called the bridging ceremony, was to commemorate and congratulate the boys that had gone through the Cub program, and really make that as a milestone for them in their scouting careers. This is the last slide. It shows again the bridging ceremony at the end, with the boys saluting and pledging allegiance to the flag. That I thought was a good way to end this slide deck, because it leads to an explanation of the value of the scouting program to those participants, the lessons that were learned, the skills that were provided, all of the very important. As I saw it through my dad's experience, through my own experience, and through my son's experience, along with all of the others that were in those troops and packs that we were involved in. So scouting has been a very, very impactful part of my life. And again, I would like to thank the Southeast Louisiana Council for this opportunity to express my appreciation really for what you have done for the community. And I'd also like to thank all of those people who have supported this program, the virtual program that we're going to have to do this year, for your support in past years, and certainly in your financial support for the Southeast Louisiana Council. Thank you.
Jim Letten is the council president of the Southeast Louisiana Council, Boy Scouts of America, serving his third consecutive term since 2016. Professionally, he is an attorney with the law firm Butler Snow. Prior to retiring in December 2012, after more than 30 years of service to the Department of Justice, he had been the longest-serving United States attorney in the nation with almost 12 consecutive years, and was one of only 3 U.S. attorneys in the country appointed to the position by successive presidents from different parties. During a 40-year legal career, Jim has litigated literally hundreds of jury and bench trials in both federal and state courts. Jim Letten also served in the United States Naval Reserve for almost 20 years, having retired as a commander. During his service, Commander Letten was an intelligence officer specializing in foreign counterintelligence and served as a fully credentialed NCIS agent for 13 of those years. A New Orleans native, Jim is married to Joanne Letten for 38 years, and they have 2 children, Erica and James, 2 Labrador retrievers, 2 cats, and lots of drums. Jim also worked for a decade at the National World War II Museum as a volunteer, restoring the PT-305. That's a Higgins Industries built 78-foot patrol torpedo boat, and it was restored to full seaworthy status. He also plays drums for local rock groups.
Good evening. Jim Letten here. It is so exciting and gratifying for me to be here with all of you and to be affiliated with Scouting, certainly to have been Scouting's council president for the last 3 years, which has been just an amazing experience and something that I'm grateful for, which I consider to be an unbelievable honor. And to receive this award, this incredible award, this Pillars of Scouting award. Maybe most of all, to be sharing this award with an individual who I've known for so many years, and most of you all know, and who is a giant in this community, Charles Nelson. Charles is given so much to Louisiana, to New Orleans, to the people of this community, to our young people, to the programs in Scouting. I can't say enough about him, and he is absolutely amazing, and it's gratifying for me to be standing virtually, figuratively, next to him. Pillars of Scouting is something that is extremely important to me and means so much to me because of the incredible people previously that we've recognized. I mean, the traditions we've established here. Our first Pillars of Scouting, we recognized Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Ken Pickering, Frank Stewart, all of these individuals who have been just incredible heroes in our community. In the next one, no less than Joe Exnicius, who himself served as president of this council. Bill Metcalf, who has been just an engine in this community and a selfless hero to so many for so long, and who shared his heartwarming experiences with Scouting as a young man. And of course, most recently, the legendary Boise Bollinger, himself a force of nature, just amazing powerhouse in the community. And Bill Oliver, truly a hero, who gave us so much and who sadly passed away very shortly after that. But thankfully, after we had a chance to thank him just a little bit for what he's done. I have to also thank Pat Denishow. Pat If you don't know her, you should, and most of you do. Pat has been a hero. Pat, again, has co-chaired this event and has made it possible, as she has so many countless others previously. And Pat, I have to say, and I was talking to Tori about this this morning, Pat is responsible for having raised over $1 million for the scouting programs here in this council. And Pat is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Pat. I've got to personally, and I think we all owe a debt of gratitude to the professionals who make scouting work, who make scouting what it is every single day in this incredible council. Ernesto Carballo, our scouting executive. Tori Hayden, who has just been amazing. Tracy Jones, Todd Connor, Nancy Allen, Matt Miller, Peaches Davis, Christy Schwest, and of course, Pat Nikes, our camp ranger. These folks are unsung heroes who don't ever and can't ever get enough credit for the work that they do, devoting their lives to scouting. The mission of scouting, that's why you're here. That's why you're part of this event. It's to support scouting's mission, or multiple missions. For over 100 years, scouting has provided young people, young men, and now young men and women, with character development, providing them skills, values, providing them with opportunities to develop themselves, to become skilled in so many disciplines, whether it's Morse code, I'm dating myself, or boating, or shooting, or any number of things, including serving their communities. It provides them with values that will serve them for the rest of their lives. And it allows them to feel and experience love of country, love of God, love of family, and dedication and devotion to their teammates and to the other people whom they share their communities with. And these skills stay with them for the rest of their lives. They are unbelievable, because they, especially now in underserved communities, scouting increasingly, and especially I think in this council, provides those opportunities for our young men and our young women in inner cities, in areas where they don't otherwise have opportunities that they would normally be able to draw from. And it gives them the opportunity to become all they can possibly be and to realize their enormous potentials. And those are just some of the few reasons why scouting has been so important to us. The challenges we have are evident right here in the way we're coming to you. We are coming to you virtually right now, certainly because of COVID-19, and because we are defeating COVID-19. We are navigating around it, over it, away from it. We are going forward despite the challenges we have. And scouting has met for over 100 years and will continue to meet the challenges that is put before it, because its mission is sound, its mission is sacred. We've had scouting events conducted by this great council online. We've had a successful virtual summer camp, many online events, and we're going to continue to move forward until this is no longer necessary. But I have to applaud not only the scouting staff, but especially all of you out there watching, and the people you work with, the volunteers, the moms, the dads, the district volunteers, many of you who have been doing this for years, who give up your time, your energy, everything you have for these young men and women, because it's all about the scouts. It's never about us, it's about the scouts. And God bless you for doing that. For me, as I said, I am so grateful to be a part of this. It's been an incredible privilege for me, an honor beyond description. Scouting has been with me my entire life. As an 8-year-old, I very proudly became a Cub Scout at Pac 32 in New Orleans at St. Matthias School. And my father was our Cub master. And then he later was very involved in leading our Boy Scout troop, in which I was involved. I was able, because of that great influence, I was able and inspired to become involved in scouting when my son was a cub, and I was cub master for a couple of years at that pack. And so the tradition goes on, but more importantly, the values and the strengths and the skills that scouting gives us, gives our young people, can't be matched anywhere. And as I said, scouting saves lives and it builds lives. And so with another thank you to all of you, each and every one of you, I just want to say thank you to scouting. God bless scouting. God bless America. Have a great evening.
Thank you again, Charles and Jim, for all you have done for our community. It is now my pleasure to introduce Ernesto Carballo. Ernesto is a Scout executive with the Southeast Louisiana Council and will tell us about scouting in our area.
Good day. My name is Ernesto Carballo, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Council of the Boy Scouts of America. Every spring we conduct an event like this. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we haven't been able to do this in person. We miss this, and frankly, we'd rather have you here with us. Unfortunately, this is the new medium, the new normal, and we're having to deal with these challenges. I want to thank Jim and Charles for being honorees for this event, first time that we've done this. We want to thank all the volunteers out there that are virtually meeting with scouts. Over 5,000 families are involved in scouting in Southeast Louisiana, and more importantly, they continue to have scouting. We've had to adjust to these new conditions, and we've had summer camp virtually, no swimming, no archery, no rifle range, but a lot of kids have learned incredible tasks and incredible different opportunities to be able to advance their future and become good parents and good citizens. For this reason, I want to thank you all for contributing and being part of this incredible venture that is called scouting. By next year, we should be able to be live and in person, and we would love to have you at our fall events if we're able to, and our spring events that we have that are fundraising lifelines. This year's challenge has put us in a financial situation where scouting is going to be hurt throughout the year, and we hope to end up the next year without these headwinds. So thank you so much for being part of scouting, donating, and helping the families develop the youth of tomorrow. Thank you and have a good day.
We would like to thank Pat for doing such a wonderful job organizing this event under such extreme circumstances. Over the years, she has been a driving force, really ensuring that our Pillars of Scouting luncheons are spectacular each year. Hopefully next spring we will all be back in the Audubon Tea Room again. Our 2020 Pillars want to thank them, Jim and Charles, for allowing us to honor them and for all their years of service to our community and to the Scouts. And our major investors want to thank them and all those who invested at this time of the taping. I know there will be more coming in. And a special thank you to all of our volunteer leaders. There are approximately 2,000 of our adult leaders that we want to thank for all of their work with our Scouts. They make scouting possible, and we sincerely thank each and every one of them. We also want to thank Chuck Mutz of Black Tie Auctions and a former Cub Master of a local pack. He did a great job coordinating our auction and helping us raise additional dollars. Also want to thank Pam Berrigan and her team at Showtime Rentals for helping us produce this virtual event. Both Chuck and Pam gave us a great Boy Scout friendly deal to help us out, and we thank them both. We also want to thank all of those invested in scouting in this event. Those who donated, those who bought auction items, and those who continue to invest in scouting. The online auction will be closing at 8, so there's still time to secure that item that you've always wanted. Thank you so much for participating, and we look forward to seeing everyone in person next spring. Dr. Paul Gregoire will now deliver the closing benediction.
Please prepare yourself in a manner in which you're accustomed to praying. Lord God, King of the universe, let us really be people who have been thankful for what we've experienced today. Let us be thankful in such a way that we'll be willing to help others who need that help. We've been so blessed and so gracious in the manner in which God has blessed us. May we be the blessings of others. Keep everyone safe, watch over them, and Lord, protect them in such a way that they may serve you through the scouting program and also through every day of their lives. Amen.